Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to another installment of Golondrinas Live Sessions. I'm Laura Gonzalez, the Education and Volunteer Manager here at El Rancho de las Golondrinas Living History Museum. We're located just south of Santa Fe, New Mexico in the beautiful and historic La Cienega Valley. Today, in commemoration of Mexican Independence Day, September 16th, 1821, we will be talking about the traditional folk art of Papel Picados, which literally translates to punctured or perforated paper. Joining me today is Las Golondrinas volunteer and cultural craft leader Becky Dickens to talk a little bit more about the history and the methods and the process behind Papel Picado making. This is normally an activity that we would host during our Viva Mexico fiesta, in which we celebrate Mexican culture and heritage, because remember that up until 1846, New Mexico was the northernmost province of the Mexican Republic. If at any time during this activity you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Otherwise, Becky's going to walk you through a fun step-by-step activity so that you can enjoy this traditional craft at home in the comfort of your own homes. All right, Becky, take it away.
Thank you. Happy to be here today. Well, we are going to do Papel Picado, which is normally a craft that we do when we have our Viva Mexico festival. And very briefly, history of Papel Picado is this very traditional Mexican folk art. And it actually goes as far back as the Aztec people who chiseled designs into bark. And that was the forerunner of the Papel Picado that we know today. Traditionally and currently, a lot of the Papel Picado artists use many sheets of tissue paper together, some up to 50 sheets, and chisels to create their design with a mallet of just drawn a little design, and there's a bunch of sheets here of tissue, and I tested doing this a little bit before we started here. So and these chisels, there's numerous chisels. They would have a number of them. They have them specially made, and this is how a lot of the very intricate Papel Picado is still done today. So I'm going to just try to cut out one of these little areas with this chisel. It's going to be noisy. See how that's not a very easy task, and I'm going to show you what is this. This is a traditional Papel Picado from Mexico. You can see how intricate these designs are, and if you can imagine doing that with a chisel and a hammer, many sheets all together, this is just beautiful. Many different designs in this one banner here. So this is what is the traditional technique and what the traditional Papel Picado actually looks like. So we are going to simplify this way down for what you can do at your house with whatever you happen to have around. And I believe, and most people believe, that a lot of folk art is done has been done just with what people have available. They can make wonderful things with whatever they have. And during our current times, that seems to be what we need to do. A lot of running out to the store isn't always possible. So creating things with what you already have at your house is a good thing. And we are not going to use chisels. We are going to use scissors. And I've got numerous kinds of paper that we can experiment with here. And you can use probably whatever paper you have at your house. Traditionally, it's tissue paper, and we will do that. And I'll just show you a couple of things. This is a few little ones I have done with the traditional tissue paper, which we will be doing momentarily. You can use the Sunday Funnies, but you have to make sure that they have been read first, because I don't want to get in trouble for this. This is my Sunday crossword puzzle. This is just plain old white computer paper. I mean, you could make a really pretty thing with just plain old paper. So, if you have any paper at your house and a pair of scissors, you are equipped. So I'm going to show you with the tissue paper how we're going to do this. There. Size-wise, you can get tissue paper at the dollar store, and I just cut the whole thing in half. So I'm going to start with a piece of tissue, and the wind is blowing a little bit here, so we will have to work around that. And you can use either one sheet or two sheets. It's almost easier with this very, very thin tissue to use it double. So that's what I'm going to do to show you. And you can either keep it double, or you will end up with two separate pieces. First thing you want to do, because we are going to make a little runner for the string so that you can hang it, is make a little fold at the top. That's going to be the little channel for your string to go through. And then there are many ways you can fold this to make your design. First we're going to try pleating it this way. And you kind of want to keep your edges. Then you will know what we're doing here. I'm going to cut into the folds. Make very simple designs which will actually look pretty interesting when we unfold it. So I've made a bunch of cuts along the fold. I actually have another fold over here that I can use. And now I'm going to unfold it and see what we have. So now we have one piece for a banner of Papel Picado. You can get fancier with your designs. You can draw something on there, and when you fold it, you can make a design that will turn out to be symmetrical when you open it. This is actually fairly symmetrical. So that's how you do one when you pleat it vertically. Now we're going to do one that's pleated horizontally. Once again, I'm going to use the tissue. I'm going to make my little fold, the little channel for the string. And then I'm also going to fold it gently and just scallop the bottom. But now I'm going to open it up. This time I'm going to fold it from the bottom up. We're making horizontal folds this time. Remembering not to cut into the little fold that you have at the top. So this time it'll give us a little bit different thing. And you can cut whatever kind of shapes you want. You can get fancy and even figure out how to do, I'm going to see if I can do a little heart shape here. And I have a fold here that I haven't done anything with. Do some little designs there. Okay, so here is our pleated thing. We've cut into, and now we can open it up and see what we have. It gives a little bit different effect having folded it the other way. And you see, I could even cut some hearts into it. You can figure out a way to cut little shapes like that into it. Now, there's one more way we can fold this, and once again, making a little fold at the top. I'm going to fold it over again and make my scalloped edge. You know, and this time I think I'm going to scallop the whole thing. I'm going to do the outside edges as well. The wind is not cooperating. I'm going to have to lay it down. All right, try again here. And this time I'm going to make the cut edges into a scalloped edge also. See if I can get it. So so this time the outside edges are going to be scalloped as well, which is kind of like what they have done here. The edges on this very fancy Papel Picado has a scalloped edge. This time we're going to fold it into fourths. Once again, keeping your little folded edge for the string away from the area you're going to cut. We can fold it into kind of a square like that. And if we want, we can even fold it further. You can actually invent your own little folds. So let's see what we get this time.
Miss Becky, we have a question from the audience for you.
Oh, okay.
People are wondering if it's possible to use a laser cutter to make the designs in this paper.
I have not a clue. Having never used a laser cutter, I will have to give that question to someone else.
Okay, it looks like one of the other audience members answered for us, and they are confirming that you can indeed use a laser cutter.
Okay, so now I have made little cuts into my very folded up thing here. We'll see what we have this time. Have kind of geometric patterns this time. So there's no end to what you can do with this. You can fold it all kinds of ways. The only thing you need to remember is to keep your little channel for the string at the top intact so that you have a place to put the string. You can figure out many different ways to fold it, and now I think what we'll do is the ones that we have already done, we will attempt in the wind to put it together with some string. And this is just hemp. This is just cotton string, and I brought tape. You can also use a glue stick. I've just got plain old invisible tape. So I'm going to make our little banner here. I'm going to call this one the middle, so I'll leave a nice... I think either the tape or you could use a glue stick as well. So, and these, remember, these are double. I just did this double. If you wanted, you could make each of these a separate one. You would have more of these to use. It's just easier in the breeze to use it double. So where's the other ones we've done? Here's one. We'll add this to our little banner.
Becky, have you ever ironed them to get out the wrinkles? Is that possible to do?
I read in a book that you can iron it. You would just have to be really careful doing that you can iron the paper. I would think on an extremely low setting. Okay, so now we have number 2 on here. And we'll add the third one, which I don't know where it went. There it is. maybe this one would look better on the other side of the yellow. So you want your string such that you can pull it through. You can draw it through, because if you want to hang this, you need it flexible. So I'm going to add this final one on the end here. Used over the years for all sorts of occasions, both religious and non-religious. And here is our little, let me cut this off here. So here is what we've got just in a few minutes. And because this is double, it's wanting to flip over a little bit. And you could add as many of these as you would want. You could decorate it over a window, or, oops.
Well, there goes that wind. Sorry, folks.
Yep, wind. You could do it however many you want, and just experiment with different ways of folding it. And I encourage you to, experiment with all kinds of paper. You undoubtedly have some kind of paper at your house, and whatever you have will probably work just fine. So,
Becky, you mentioned that these would have been used and displayed for all sorts of different ceremonies. Can you tell us a little bit more of, like, we had a question, would they have been present at weddings? Can you give us an example of what types of ceremonies they would have displayed these at?
Well, I mean, they're used for all kinds of ceremonies, weddings, parties, but then they also are used for religious ceremonies and religious festivals as well. I mean, and to be honest, I don't know exactly which ones, but this is a very common craft in Mexico, and you see these everywhere. And they're colorful, they're beautiful, they're happy, and they're also, in some ways, not disposable, but they're not made to last forever. They're just made to be present at the moment and fun and beautiful, and then they disappear at some point.
Exactly. All right. Well, I know that for me, it's coming up here in early November, Dia de los Muertos. We see these all over Mexico. We see them here in New Mexico. They're beautiful. They're colorful. As we said, they commemorate very nicely the rich and vibrant culture that is Mexican culture. So thank you, Becky, so much for showing us how to do this cultural craft. From our viewers, do we have any more questions about the history of Papel Picado, about the process of the activity? We're so glad that you all joined us this afternoon for this. As I said, this is a craft that we like to host during our Viva Mexico Fiesta, which we usually host in July. And we use that festival to celebrate the time that New Mexico was part of Mexico, and a lot of those traditions and that culture still remain and are part of our rich cultural heritage in New Mexico even to this day. So we were really excited to be able to share this with you today. Again, thank you, Becky, so much for coming out today and being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
Showing us this.
It was a little windy, but we made do here.
Excellent. Excellent. And we have some exciting news for our viewers that have been tuning in with us every couple of weeks for these Golondrinas live sessions. We are now posting these videos on our Las Golondrinas YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com and type in Las Golondrinas channel, if you type in El Rancho de las Golondrinas, you get some videos about us, but to see these videos and the future videos that we'll be creating and posting, go to YouTube and type in Las Golondrinas channel, and I think we have about 5 or 6 up. I think this is probably the 6th video that we've done. So for those of you who have friends or family that are interested in watching these videos but don't have a Facebook, there's another option for you there on YouTube. Keep in mind, folks, we are also currently open at least through the end of September at with limitations. Visit golondrinas.org for all of the detailed information on how you can come visit the site and walk around, and how to purchase tickets. You do have to have reserved tickets. But it's beautiful. Autumn is starting to set in, so we're real excited about that. So we hope to see you out, and of course we hope to see you again next year. Join us again next week for actually at the end of this week, this Friday, we're going to be hosting another Golondrinas live session where we're going to be talking about black powder and the use of firearms in New Mexico's history as a means of survival, as a means of hunting, as a means of military use. 2 of our Las Golondrinas volunteers are going to be doing live black powder demonstrations. They're going to be showing us various types of historic weapons. Some of them are replicas, some of them are vintage. So that'll be, again, Friday at 5 p.m. this Friday. Check back on our Facebook for details, and we hope to see you again. In the meantime, thanks again for joining us, for spending some time on this Friday afternoon with us, and we hope to see you again soon. Stay safe, be well, and remember, your adventure starts at golondrinas.org. Bye, everybody.